Welcome to another episode of Founders Club. Today, we're going to be talking to Eric Preston, the founder of Agent Launch. He's also an expert at generating leads online. So, we're going to have a great conversation about how you can generate more real estate leads for your business. As always, if you have any questions, put them in the box down below. Make sure you check out the links in the description. And if you like money and you like real estate, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the inside. Eric, welcome to Founders Club.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Absolutely, man, and excited to have you here. As I said, you're the founder of Agent Launch. You've been generating leads online for a long time and seeing a lot of success with it. So I'm excited to kind of learn from you, get some best practices on how we can be improving our lead generation. But why don't we just start with kind of how you went down the road or how you kind of started generating leads online, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, so I mean, I actually started my journey working for another real estate marketing agency who wasn't super focused on lead gen. And as the frontline sales guy, I mean, I would see what agents wanted, which was generally good leads. Um, and so that led, you know, to me getting my license, doing that myself successfully, having a lot of demand in my brokerage at the time, for us to teach what we were doing. And what we were doing was a little bit of Google and Facebook and, doing some things online. And this was probably, 6 years ago now. Um, and so, yeah, we actually created a course. We ran like an info product business for a while. And that led to the next problem, which was people would try and set it up themselves. And some of them would be like, look, I don't have the bandwidth for this. Can you just do it for me? And that's what led to kind of the formation of Agent Launch about 4 years ago. So we're primarily focused on, I mean, we're mostly focused on digital lead generation. We do help our clients do a little bit of physical because I do believe in farming, really farming an area. And part of that is being multi-platform. So I would say we've been known for Google Ads since day one, but I do think today Google Ads is one of the better places to generate leads because you can kind of build your own Zillow-like system for yourself. Because I don't think a lot of people realize that Zillow and Realtor.com, most of their leads still come from Google. Um,
Mm.
and we can kind of, how I like to describe it is steal some of that traffic from them, and bring it into your own business. So yeah, that's it.
I
In a
like
nutshell.
that. I mean, that's a great spot to start. Why don't we talk about how we can steal those leads from the Zillows and the Redfins of the world? How do we do that?
Yeah. So what Zillow's business model is they have mastered SEO. So for anyone that doesn't know what SEO is, it's search engine optimization. It's how to rank high in Google organically. So when you make a search on Google, how do you get to the top of the search result? And I'm not talking about paid ads. It's what's after that. You'll probably notice that Zillow is at the top almost every single time, right? When people search for homes for sale in whatever, condos for
Right.
sale, farm and ranch for sale, doesn't matter. They've optimized their site so they are pretty much number one all the time. Given some exceptions, some niche searches, but it's always Zillow, Realtor, Redfin, the same kind of companies. I don't think that's super fair, but it's how Google operates. Now, we can put a very simple paid ad in front of them. And that's what our business has been built on from day one. And so the reality of Zillow's business model is they've optimized their website to rank high in the search result as SEO. People will search for some homes, they'll click on Zillow, they'll go to their website, and then when they're ready to talk to an agent, they'll hit contact agent. Zillow turns around if you're on Premier Agent and sells that to, 2, 3, 4, 5 agents. So you got to be glued to your phone, first of all, because you're paying either way. So you got to pick it up, make sure you don't miss that lead. And a lot of people are spending a lot of money on these leads. If you're a flex partner, you're paying 40% commission for that lead anyway. Now, we can generate the exact same lead by just putting a good ad in front of Zillow on the search result. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand is good ad. You can't just put an ad. It has to really match what they've searched, and the website has to match what they click on. It's what I call search continuity. But if you do that well, I mean, you can generate basically unlimited leads, but just by buying up, a percentage or two of that traffic. And people always ask me, like, do people click on those ads? Well, they do, or we wouldn't have a big business. I promise you. And so, yeah, they do. As a lot of people just click on the first or second result if it looks like a legitimate result, right? Where people go wrong with Google is they often put like they're targeting a certain keyword, and then say say someone searches condos for sale in New York City, and their ad says detached. Maybe New York City's not the best example. Detached homes for sale. Like if they're searching for condos, your ad better say condos, and your website better say condos. And a lot of
Yeah.
people don't do that well, if that makes
Mm.
sense.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. And the word you used, I think, was search continuity. Why don't you talk a little bit more about what that looks like from a best practices point of view? Because I guess it seems like, everyone should have a funnel or a landing page of some sort where they generate leads. Now it sounds like you're going into, obviously, like trying to win a term like New York condos for sale is going to be really hard, but maybe you can win, or maybe you can pay for like Upper East Side condos for
Yeah.
sale, or one bedroom Upper East Side condos for sale. And then I'm guessing you're taking them down to a lander that matches and all that. But why don't you talk about that in terms of kind of best practices?
Yeah, so you just said something interesting, like winning a search, and I think that's what a lot of people come to us saying, right? But you don't have to necessarily like win. You just have to get enough of it, and it's pretty easy to buy a certain percentage of it, where you'll get 100 leads a month. It actually doesn't even take that much because Zillow you might spend $200-300 a lead, whereas Google you can get that same lead for like $20. And
Mm,
so when we say search continuity, I'll give you a good example because something we're doing a lot of right now is new construction marketing. And one of the reasons we're doing it is we don't have to rely on an IDX feed because most of this type of advertising, when people search condos for sale in New York City, you're sending them to your website, which is showing them condos for sale in New York City, i.e., the MLS properties or whatever market it is. You can just swap that out. But you're
right.
generally using an IDX site from a specific provider that's built for Google Ads. So there's a small number of providers that are really optimized for Google Ads. And we have some videos on our agent launch channel going through those. But essentially, it's interesting because you're using the IDX feed to generate the lead. Now, new construction is different because we actually build custom landing pages for new construction, which creates a barrier to entry. Anyone can go get a certain IDX site and run ads to it. But with new construction, we're building these really cool conversion focused landing pages. And what you'll find when you search new homes for sale in Austin, Texas, for example, or you can get more granular than that and search within areas of Austin, Texas. Like, of course, we do a bit of both. Is most people advertising are builders. And with the looming NAR settlement, what I really like about this funnel too is that I don't think builders are going to be changing their commissions because, like DR Horton, their number one source of new business is real estate agents. So if
Right.
they continue paying real estate agents, that's their number one source of business. And then the buyer's agency commission gets a little bit squeezed. And I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal as people are worried about, but it might get a little squeezed. Then that, in theory, should increase demand for new construction homes and that will drive prices of them up. So we're doing a lot of this right now. And so the search continuity that you're speaking to is if you said new construction homes in Austin, Texas for sale, new construction homes for sale in Austin, Texas, that would be kind of the keyword. Then the ad will read new homes for sale, Austin, Texas. See 800 plus units now, updated daily. That's what your like ad would probably read. Usually there's 3 headlines, there's a bunch of descriptions and other things underneath. But if you search new construction homes for sale in Austin, Texas, the ad reads new build homes in Austin, Texas, see over 800 developments. And then you click on it and that goes to a page that says 800 plus developments in Austin, Texas. Get first access today. And there's a timer that we put on there for scarcity and urgency. And it's like
Nice.
get coming soons. And like we design it so that it's really appealing to reach out. So that's what I mean by search continuity. If someone searches new construction homes for sale in Austin, Texas, and they see homes for sale in Austin, Texas, it's like, okay, well, I searched for new homes, but you're trying to show me homes. And it's hard to structure the keywords in a way that to get this right every time. Obviously, Zillow's mastered this from an SEO perspective, where we focused on mastering this from a paid perspective.
Pay perspective.
And so having those things line up is what I mean by search continuity. It's really important. And I love that you can replace new construction with waterfront or farm and ranch or condos or
Right.
detached or townhomes or
Yeah.
whatever. But most of the time we're using for resale an IDX. But for new construction, because not everything's available, on the IDX because there's a lot of coming soons. Maybe the builders limit inventory. Another thing I like about this funnel is when you work with a builder agent, they're obviously just going to try to sell you their stuff. When you work with an agent, you're a little bit agnostic to what development, so you're going to give them a more fair and balanced outlook on what units are available.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. I really like that strategy. And I think what might be helpful for some people that aren't connecting all the dots is if someone wanted to implement a campaign like this, why don't we walk them through the steps that would be required to set that up? I'm in Carlsbad right now, so why don't we say like Carlsbad beachfront homes and just kind of spitball what that would look like in terms of setting up the campaign and all the steps that would be required.
Yeah, so from start to finish, I mean, first you'd want to get an IDX site in this case because we're talking about resale. Um, so set up an IDX site. We usually recommend, a short list of them. And then you'd probably want to go to my YouTube channel and watch one of my videos on how to do this or join our
And what's
community.
that channel? Just so people can find it.
Just Eric Preston.
Cool.
You can also find Agent Launch, which is our company. We have two. And then you're going to want to set up an ad targeting keywords like beachfront homes, set up the ad so it reads beachfront homes. And then you're going to go on your website and make a search for waterfront or beachfront homes in Carlsbad. And that's going to be the destination of the ad. So then you're going to start running that. Make sure that forced lead capture is on your website. So when people do click on your ad, go to your site, it forces them for their information to see more. Make sure on
Do
the
you
back
recommend that happening right away or after they've done a few searches?
right away.
Right away.
And trust
Okay.
me, we spent $12 million on this. So we
That's
get
some
that
good
question.
data right there.
We get that question a lot, and it's not to say it won't work if you let them see 3 properties right away, but your lead cost will double or triple.
Okay.
That's what we don't want. So yes, some people are just going to leave. That's part of the process. It's like 1 in 10 people that click are going to become a lead.
Right.
And so if you spend, our average cost per lead last month was $15.70. So if you spend $1,500 a month, you're getting roughly 95 to 100 leads.
Yeah, that's really good.
If you do this well. Now, with any kind of online lead gen, like there's a few important pieces here. People don't know you yet, right? It's not like a referral. So you need to make sure your online presence is clean and tidy. So this is something we do with our clients is we help them tune that up right away. So your Google My Business needs to be filled out. You need to have reviews, you need to have your socials there. Like people need to like what they see when they search Eric Preston on Google, or they're just going to hit the back button and go talk to another agent. Because these leads, I promise you, are getting prospected by multiple agents, right? Because they're usually on Zillow, they might be on Realtor, they might be on John the Realtor site, they might be on Wendy the Realtor site, and everyone's
Right.
trying to call them. Why are they going to choose
One
you?
thing's for sure, if they've opted in on your site, they've opted in on other sites.
Probably I would say that's generally the truth, like most of the time. And so you got to think like, why, to use a matrix reference, like why are you going to be the chosen one? And usually it requires you to just go a little bit further than the other people, which isn't that hard that most of the time. So going back to the funnel, you set up an ad, drive them to your site, have force lead capture on your site, and then that should funnel into your CRM, and that should trigger a series of tasks or automations. Today we're using BombBomb videos and text, emails, calling, but like after the 8th time you try to reach someone, I mean your connection rate goes up like twofold. So we really encourage our clients, like every lead should be getting at least 20 touch points over the course of the first year minimum. And the success rate just goes up and up and up over time. And then after you've been doing this for a year or two, it snowballs and you start getting a lead that signed up a year ago, all of a sudden closing, and you get someone you closed a year ago referring you someone or doing repeat. And then it just gets better and better and better if you do it right. Where a lot of people go wrong, I mean, you can go wrong at any stage of this funnel. You can do the ad poorly, you can have the wrong website, you can not be saying the right things on the phone. People will tell you, oh, I'm just browsing, and you believe them. That's just a smokescreen. You need to learn to get over that. So that's something we work with our clients on regularly, but it obviously this stuff works. And the interesting thing in real estate is there's so many agents out there and everyone's had a bad experience with something. So you almost have to look at the person as much as the program or service or tool you're going to use. And it doesn't matter what it is, because it doesn't matter how good of leads someone generates. If someone's not making the calls and doesn't know how to ask the right questions, I mean, they're not going to get anywhere with anything. And I think that's an important point. But I kind of got off track there because I talk a lot, but you get the idea.
No, I get the idea. So they're setting up a Google account. They're running those ads for beachfront homes in Carlsbad. We're taking them to an IDX capture page. You said there's a couple that you recommend. What are some of your favorites, just to throw those out there for the
No,
IDX piece?
nothing's perfect, but the stacks we recommend are Real Geeks and Follow Up Boss together,
Okay.
Lofty, and
Okay.
Sierra Interactive. Like
Cool.
Sierra Interactive has a long timeline to get set up. Lofty's support is questionable at best. Um, Follow Boss is owned by Zillow. So there's a downside and an upside to everything, but those three generally work really well. You can't go wrong.
Okay, perfect. And then you said the lead capture will then drop them into the CRM. Some of those I think are CRMs, but is there a CRM that you recommend or anything like that?
Yeah, most of those have their own, and they're pretty good. I would say Follow Boss is the best, hands down. That's why
Okay.
Zillow bought it. um, some people don't like that Zillow owns it, so in that case, I mean, Lofty is a good solution. Good all in one for sure. And
Okay,
then
perfect.
once they're in your CRM, like there's something I should talk about. So 2023, last year, something emerged that I think everyone should be aware of. And we noticed that the stuff we had been doing for a long time didn't stop working as well. And
Mm,
what that was like these more long automated texts and emails and drips, right? Like everyone wants to automate their business, especially in the age of AI and automations, which
right.
really came full circle last year. But what, what happened was the emergence of something I call the authenticity gap. So the authenticity gap is when someone doesn't answer your call or decides to ignore you. So like you miss an opportunity because they've decided that you're not authentic. And this year we went kind of backwards to some people might think. And we went a little back to like less automations and more task-based workflows, sending
Okay.
personalized videos to people. Because I think what happened last year is everyone started automating using AI, and the general public became a little bit sensitive to that. Like
Yep.
we all know what an automated text looks like. You sign up on a site and it comes to your phone 10 seconds later. It's like, okay, that's probably an automation. Then it sounds automated. And they're like, okay. Then the other agent sends a personalized video welcoming you, saying, hey, just want to put a face to the name, let you know I'm a real person. Also let you know I'm going to be giving you a call soon from a 302 area code. If you don't know the number, it's probably me, just here to get you the value I promised you when you signed up on the site. That's it. Super simple, straightforward, authentic,
That's good.
not salesy, just like, hey, I'm here to help. Just want to introduce myself. And the other guy's getting an auto text. Hey, thanks for signing up on the site. How many beds and baths are you looking for? Like, it's like, okay, now that sounds like everybody else. So how do we be different? And to be honest with you, like that's where people usually go wrong is the conversion.
Yeah.
Um, yes, you can do the lead gen poorly. Um, of course, I think there's companies like ours are a dime a dozen. Unfortunately, there's a lot of bad ones out there. So yes, you can do that poorly. But generally, where it goes wrong with us in my many years of doing this is if people don't really work on that part, because that's where the money's made is the conversion.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And maybe that's kind of where we're at in the conversation now in terms of like best practices, right? You've run the ads, they've gone through your CRM. What is the next, best practices in terms of how to follow up and what to do next? I love the idea of sending the video message, but what else are the best practices for conversion?
So there's a couple things. One is retargeting, actually. So we actually retarget all the leads on Google and Meta. So Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube. So what that does is creates a bit of like omnipresence in their head. So it's
Yeah.
like they see you on Google, they see you on websites and blogs, they see you on Facebook, on Instagram. Then you're in their inbox. Then you're on their phone, right? That's that omnipresent effect. So that is one part of the equation. Another part of the equation, if they start seeing physical marketing from you. So we have some things we help our clients do a little bit, which is like getting circle prospecting done around a listing, but doing it with door hangers with a QR code, and that QR code leads to a video talking about the open house you have coming up or how you sold that property for X amount over market value. Then there's a weekly newsletter. So sending out a newsletter that has a deal of the week. So a property you love that's listed, why you love it. Is it unique? Is it priced right? What's up with that? Sending out benchmark solds that sellers care about. Hey, here's 3 properties that I think benchmark these 3 price points or property types. There's real estate news. There's things to do in the city, and having a personalized video walking them through that. Obviously, there's calling and texting and sending people value, because at the end of the day, what people care about is buyers care about what they can get for their money, and sellers care about what they can get for their house, generally speaking.
Right.
So lubricate that process for them, like facilitate that process for them. And there's a lot of ways you can do this. So what I mean is, we were just talking about this on our coaching call with our clients today. It's like, if you find a good property, go in your recently active pipeline in your CRM. And most of our clients have lots of people in this pipeline. And this is basically anyone who's currently active on your site or has been active on your site looking at properties in the last few days. And if you find like an awesome 2-bed, 2-bath condo, like make a bomb video about it. Just say, don't say their name. Just say, hey, I noticed you were looking at properties like this, and I just found an awesome one. I think you might like it. Have a look at 123 Fake Street. I find that it's in an awesome location. I think it's priced right. It's updated really well. Let me know if this is of interest to you and you'd like to go see it. And send that out to like 4 or 5 people that have been looking at that type of property. One of my clients in Hawaii does something amazing. He does this every, I can't remember if it's every week or month, but he basically texts the top 5 most active people on his site. And he says, hey, Wendy, just wanted to congratulate you. Every single month, I send out a gift to the top 5 most active people on my website of our local coffee here in Hawaii. Just send me your address and I'll get that shipped out to you right away.
Nice.
100% success rate. 100% success rate, he says. So there's all these little cool things that you can pick up being in a mastermind. Like one of our clients in Long Island, he sends a meme on day 7 over text when he doesn't get a reply. And the meme is like, I think it's the Pablo Escobar character from that show. And it's like, waiting for your reply. And he's like standing in a few different, I don't know if you've seen that meme, but he gets a 50% reply rate from just sending that meme over text. And so there's a lot of times with prospect, I mean, that's the hardest part, is to get that first engagement. But that's really the idea, is they see in their inbox, you're sending them a newsletter, you're starting to provide value, you're sending buyers cool properties, you're sending sellers potentially, hey, just want to let you know this property just sold, which I think probably increases the value of yours a little bit because it's in your neighborhood, it's a similar home. Like, facilitate the process for people based on the indicators they've given you of where they're at in the market. And the other thing I'll leave the audience with is, even if you think people aren't paying attention, I promise you they are. Because the amount of times, and trust me, I've been around this a long time, where you're in a mastermind and it's like, you get people saying, yeah, I see people, they've opened my email, they've watched my video, they're on my website, but they won't answer their phone and they won't reply to me. 6 months later, they get a call. Hey, Eric, I want to go see this property. Are you able to help me out? And it's like, wow, these people, it's like they're on your site and they're opening your stuff for a reason, but they may not be ready to talk to you, but they will be ready eventually. And it's like, just be patient, because a lot of people don't want to talk to an agent yet. So just facilitate the process. Don't be overly pushy and just provide value, and that'll pay off in spades.
Yeah, I would agree. And if you think about it, that's like the big benefit of Google paid marketing, is that it's intent based. Like at one point in time, they thought to themselves, I want to buy a beachfront home in Carlsbad. They typed that into Google and they started searching. So maybe maybe it's not a right now thing. Maybe they're very early in the process. But to your point, once you get them into your funnel, you can continue to market them, continue to follow up, eventually, when they are ready to make that decision to go see a house, you're very likely going to be at the front of the line for the people that they call for that.
You hit the nail on the head, and I think that's why we spend like 85% of our budget with our clients typically goes to Google, because you're capturing the lead at a really good point in their journey. Because we
Right.
know that statistically 76% of people work with the first agent they speak to. So one of the first things a buyer and a seller do is they go look what's on the market. So when
Yeah.
someone's talking to their partner and they're like, hey, I think we should, maybe list the home next year. What do? Well, they're like, well, let's see what's available on the market. What could we get? Where could we move? Right. And so they go into Google and they search, detached homes for sale in whatever area. And then your
Yep.
ad pops up and they hit your website. And it's like, oftentimes you're capturing these people early, but that's good. There's a long sales cycle in real estate, but that gives you an opportunity to be first to the punch, to be first at bat. And we know that they're somewhere in the process because they've actually gone in and searched. And I'll give you an example. There's someone I know who's very high up at a technology company in real estate, and he was doing Google Ads in 2018. And he told me this story because I thought it was fascinating. He said last year, 2023, so he did Google Ads in 2018. So this was 6 years ago now.
Right.
And he admitted to me, he said, you're so right, because I didn't follow up with the leads. I gave up on them. I tried calling them a couple times, and then I just like, I couldn't get a hold of them, and I wrote them off.
Just
Last
like almost everybody else does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Last year he generated 150 leads, and then he shut it off, all through Google. He went into MLS last year and he searched every single email, and guess what? 55% of them had transacted.
Wow.
55%
Wow. That's
over the,
crazy.
over the course of 5 years, and I was blown away.
That's 75 transactions.
I did not think it would have been that high. Like I
Yeah.
was shocked when he said 55. I was like, that is higher than I would have even imagined. But
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, some people just need time, and you're not going to win everyone. But it's not like he ever would have. There's no world where he would have won all 55% of them. But
Right.
you might have been able to get half if you really did it well, And so
So I think the lesson there is don't stop following up.
And that's why, like, for us, like, we build our clients a system to help them do this in a more sustainable way. So we build pipeline stages. Like, I'll just tell everyone how we structure it. You have hot, nurture, unresponsive, recently active.
Mm.
So recently active is an automated pipeline stage that repopulates when people become active on your site again. Unresponsive means you've never got a hold of them. So they're just going to get your weekly newsletter, biweekly newsletter. They're going to get other mass communication. Nurture means you've talked to them, but they're 90 days or longer out. So when you have someone in nurture, you're going to get a monthly task to do a personalized outreach using a personalized bomb or some kind of personalized outreach to stay in touch with them. Hot is it means you've talked to them and they're within 90 days, and you're going to get a weekly task to follow up with them. Now, most of the time you should be talking to them more than once a week, especially if they're within a month or two. But it's a task reminder so you don't forget. You don't drop the ball on any of them, right? But the reality is some of them you're going to be talking to almost every day. And the goal is to get your hot pipeline. This is what we call an active client. So our golden metric at Agent Launch is cost per active client, not cost per lead. And
Yeah.
so getting 25 people in the hot pipeline is the goal to have a really healthy business. Then it's like,
Okay.
you get that deal and it falls apart last minute. You can be less emotional about it because you have a solid pipeline.
Yeah. No, that's the key to building a big business, especially over time. Well, that's very cool. What would you say is the number one thing people screw up with all this?
I think what we just talked about, which is giving up too early,
Yeah.
and taking people at their word. Buyers are liars. I think that buyer and seller, I don't even like those words so much because like sellers are buyers, and a lot of times buyers have something to sell even if they haven't told you yet.
Right.
So like Buyers are liars, so don't take people at their word. Everyone's just browsing until they're not. What do you
Yeah,
say?
exactly.
What do you say in the clothing store when this is the example I like to give? You walk into a clothing store and someone walks right up to you and says, "Hey, can I help you?" And you're like, "I just got here. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know yet." Like, I find that a little intrusive, personally.
Yep.
Um, and so, but the reality is, I might be very serious, but I might just say, "Oh, I'm just browsing because I don't know yet." But it's just a smoke screen because I'm not ready to talk to someone. Um,
Yeah, it makes sense.
and so, what if someone came up to you in the store and said, "Hey, welcome. Just wanted to give you our brochure of what we have on sale." Be like, "Oh, cool. That's nice. You weren't. Let me know if you need any help." Right?
Yeah,
And it's just
exactly.
like a different energy. So when you approach people very aggressively, like they're going to give you those smoke screens, and you just have to not take them at their word and know the right things to say. So a lot of people, when they say just browsing, be like, they'll get stuck on that, right? But one of the things you can say is like, "Hey, John, I know you're just browsing. Honestly, most people who hit our website are totally just browsing. I'm just here to meet you where you're at. So how about this? To make your browsing process a lot easier, I just want to collect a couple quick pieces of info from you so I can actually set up your saved search so that when a new property hits the market, it comes straight to your inbox. You don't even have to come and browse every single day. You know that if any properties you're interested in are going to come straight to you. How's that sound?" I'd be like, "Yeah, okay. That'll
Yeah,
help
sounds
just
good.
you know?
Love that. Very cool. Well, for people that want to learn more about how to do this and connect with you, I know you have a couple of different like done for you and done with you type options. Where can people come and learn more about that?
Yeah, so we have two programs. One is very much courses and community focused, which we call our community agent launch. You can go to our website, hit the community tab. You can join. It's $36 a month. It's pretty approachable for everybody, and it's by design. Our other program is done for you. It's called our Omni program, where we actually do everything I just spoke about for you. If you're interested in that, just hit apply or book a call on our website, and then you can actually book a call with me and my team, and we can walk you through what that investment looks like.
Awesome.
But that's more for, I would say, already successful, established agents who want to build a new pillar in their business and are
Yep.
serious about growth. The do-it-yourself version is more for people who are newer and have some time and want to learn how to do it themselves, and we can support that either way.
Yeah, and either way is fine, right? I think that this is something that anybody can do themselves for sure. I mean, none of this is complicated. Once you've watched some of your videos on how to do it, it should all click. And then, like you said, for the people that want to save the time and just have you do it for them, that's an option as well. And then you also have a YouTube channel where you have some content and social media. I'm guessing. How can people connect with you?
Yeah, we're mostly on YouTube. So just Eric Preston on YouTube. I have a ton of resources for free there as well, and Agent Launch on YouTube as well. Most of our videos from here on out are going to be going on the Agent Launch channel. So make sure you follow us there.
Awesome. Definitely check that out. One question to wrap with is in 60 seconds or less, what does it take to be successful in generating leads in today's market?
I think what it takes to be successful in generating leads in today's market is the right team or mentor behind you. Of course, you can go in alone. I have taught people how to go in alone, but generally it can be murky waters. I think having someone behind you who can support that growth, whether it's like a coach or a mentor or some kind of accountability, because someone's built this, done this, been there, done this before, and they can shorten that path for you. And I think in my career, mentorship has always been the greatest investment. I think that people can expedite that process and make sure you don't make the same mistakes they did. And I mean, I know this, I've been through the trenches with this for many, many years. And so I think whether it's online leads or building your business or anything, I think just having the right people beside you and being in the right rooms, being in a
Yeah.
mastermind, surrounded by people who know what they're doing, is the greatest way to expedite your success.
Yeah. And I think the big takeaway is you can beat Zillow at their own game just by targeting those long tail keywords in very niche local communities. And like you said, for you were generating leads for 15 bucks a pop, which is absolutely incredible. I think any of us out there would gladly pay 15 bucks for some good leads coming in. So
100%.
appreciate your time, appreciate your insights. Definitely look forward to connecting with you again in the future. Everyone listening, check out Agent Launch and connect with Eric. And we'll see you on the next one. If you like money and you like real estate, this is the show for you. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.